What's going on, world? It's your boy Q, man. BMG, Black Movement Group. Conversation with the World #3, man.
What's good, man? It's your boy Cal, aka C-Note BMG representative. Holla at me.
Most definitely, man. My name Rob. Just joined in for the party as well. Should be seeing a little bit more of me more often.
But the subject today, man, is women, man. We gotta respect our women. They the key to life. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, it's like we disrespect women to where we treat their self-esteem to where it's the lowest to the lowest. And that shouldn't be what it is. You know, they really the most important. You know what I mean? So that's extra important. Women.
Yeah.
And I would like to expound upon that by simply saying, women, we all have our place. And I don't want you to think that we're not going to touch on the men at all, seeing as we are men speaking on behalf of women or, addressing women. Our time is going to come when we're going to talk about where men need to step it up or what things that they need to improve in their life. But, staying on subject with the women, I would like to say there's a big place for women, and they've for the most part, generally speaking, they've fallen from that place, and part of the blame is for us. You know what I mean? We haven't been respecting our women at all, and it's becoming so familiar. It's becoming so deeply rooted within our culture, the disrespect of women, that now they're starting to partake in their own the destroying of their own image. Thinking that only their body or physical attributes is what's going to propel them into prosperity or success.
I just want to reach in with a quote to apply with that. Don't console your beauty with your booty. That's just saying, like,
right on.
You don't have to be naked to be beautiful.
Most definitely.
Women are naturally beautiful, So,
and actually, I had ran into a picture, and it was a cartoon picture, and it was pretty much just trying to stress a point. And there was a woman in a bikini and the big sunglasses you ladies like to wear nowadays, and then there was a Muslim woman who, everything was covered except for her eyes. She had the full gown on, and on one text or dialogue box it said the woman with the glasses who was half naked in her bikini, she said, "Oh my God, everything covered up but her eyes. What a male chauvinistic world." Or a male chauvinistic culture. And then the Muslim lady was looking at her and said, "Nothing covered but her eyes. What a male cruel dominated world." So the perception behind that in my eyes was simply just saying that, the Muslims get a bad stigma for thinking that men are dominating them by making them cover up their entire body, and they think the same about us, that all our women do is show their body to get our attention. So it's a very thin line, and we're gonna go right into it. I just wanna kick it off by saying that addressing how the women present themselves. Most men or men who are genuine want to build genuine relationships with their women and actually want to be a part of another woman's life. When you're doing certain things, provocative pictures on Facebook, the way you dress, even going to an interview, things like that. Those give signals to us to the type of mentality that you have. If you come into the job and automatically the first thing I know is a lot of cleavage, it's gonna catch my attention. I'm not gonna really take you serious as a woman. I'm not gonna be able to hear exactly how deep you are if I'm constantly being distracted with my eyes. And me being a man, naturally I'm gonna check it out. You know what I mean? I don't mean to be rude or anything like that, but hey, it's out there. Just like if you post a comment on Facebook, don't get mad if I come and put my opinion on it because you made it public. So and Dave Chappelle, he hit a close topic. He said, let's just say I dressed myself as a police officer, and you run up to me and you say, "Excuse me, officer, Can you help me out? I'm in trouble. And I say, just because I'm dressed this way, you think that, you know what I'm saying? You think that I'm supposed to help you? So, yes. And in fact, they do. You know what I'm saying? That's the uniform. So,
yeah. And then another thing, people want to know, what's this big thing about men wanting natural women? Well, the thing is, when you use the eyelashes, the stuff like that, it kind of like covers the real you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really reveal your true self when you use the weave and the eyelashes. I get the feeling like I'm not fully connected to you, because I feel like you are, you know, somewhat insecure of your natural self, your natural you.
But and we're not saying cover everything up, but naturally for me, I want my black sisters to stand for more than a sex symbol. You know, when you, even in the media today, you know, when you see all the Shakiras and the, not dissing anybody, but in their videos, that's just what they showing. You know what I'm saying? Whether they be on the beach or in a club, that's what they showing, and that's what we look up to as a culture, you know, because that's us. But that's not really what it is.
And you know, my thing is, whether, you know, anybody, you know, whether you would like to believe it or not, the more that you add on things that are not really represent a representation of yourself, it's basically distancing you from yourself. It's almost like a form of self-hate. And it brings me to the question to my ladies and anybody out there who does that, because men do it too. Who are you trying to impress? Because before you step outside and address anybody or try to impress anybody, you have to do it in the mirror first. You have to be comfortable with the person who you naturally are, because some things weren't able to change. Now, you know, the convenience of being able to, you know, throw your wig on or whatnot just so that you can make it out the door fast enough, whatever, I can respect that. But, you know, I don't want you to have so many wigs I never see your real hair.
Yeah.
Or if we out and then we come back home, we about to settle in, the person that you was when you were out is completely different. They sitting on the dresser and you in the bed with me now. I don't even know who you were. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the natural look, it's actually beautiful. You know, if I hear the argument of girls saying that they wear weave because it's easier to maintain. I mean, for that look, just maintain it then.
Right.
You know, and I go to a quote where he, you know,
I had been told, you know, anything worth having, you have to work for it. And if you don't work for it, you're not gonna care as much about it. And that's the honest to God truth. If you ever had someone who giving you something free, whether it be, you know, an outfit or something, you know, you don't necessarily, you know, anything that, you know, if you get it for free, you don't take so much value as if you had to work and put your own sweat and tears into it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you look on TV, anywhere in the media, whether it be magazine, TV, anything like that, those people are standing out, setting trends, doing things the way that they would like to do. And we, as a people, black people, follow behind that. I mean, even on Facebook, you know, you got people who taking on the names of people they don't know anything about. You know, I see people with the, you know, the name Montana after their name. You know, Robert Montana. I don't own any machine guns. I'm not pushing any cocaine, any of those things. So what would make me take on that representation and put it on myself?
Right, and that's kind of what women do nowadays too. Like, not to disrespect them or anything like that, but you guys naturally follow the trend of women you look up to, and it's mainly in media. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the Beyonces and there wasn't a lot of people wearing blonde hair. You know what I'm saying? People didn't have fake blonde hair. Like, it just didn't go. But once she really started doing it, or before that, you know, that's just now what the trend was. You know, people start to dye their hair that color now. You know what I mean? And with the Nicki Minaj, I'm not even gonna get into it.
And I'll just say this. Honestly, when I see a woman and she has her hair and it's natural, even if it's, you know, like an afro or something, you know what I mean? Or, you know, the dread things I see, that's becoming a big new trend. But when you see the woman with her natural hair and, you know, maybe the minimum of makeup put on, you know, a nice dress that's still showing maybe, you know, a little bit of leg or, you know, a little shoulder or whatever, I find that to be so attractive. And even those dudes who act all chauvinistic and, you know, they like it too. Whether they like to believe it or not, they like it too. And I always make it a major point in my life. When I see women doing that, I say, look, you know, stay standing out like that. Stay being an individual. Stay being real. You know, everybody always talk about, you know, real talk. But I try to encourage as much as possible. Keep doing that. It's so attractive. And the fact that you had the balls,
right,
per se, the balls to go out there and in the face of everybody doing the opposite,
you gotta
stay true to yourself.
You gotta applaud that.
That's so attractive. That's real confidence. To respect yourself. That's where the real confidence come in.
Oh, before it's over, self-esteem, man. I just wanted to touch that. I see a lot of women with low self-esteem, and they might not show it, but naturally they have it. And us men, we take part in that. The way we downgrade women, you know, the way we get attracted to women for the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? And women take a part in that too because they show themselves for the wrong things. So that naturally creates a low self-esteem because that's not them. You know what I'm saying? And we got to change that, man. It's
and you know what? Part of that responsibility is on men. And I'll tell you why. Because how can you sit up there as a man, talking to the men now, how can you sit up there and say, you know, or, you know, stand behind what we're saying now and say, you know, be more natural and all of that. But every time you see the opposite of the whole natural thing, you lose your mind. You chasing behind it with full force. And I'm not saying that, hey, I get attracted to those same other type of women too, so don't get me twisted. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect or nothing like that either. Or I'm not saying that it's wrong to be attracted by those things. But I'm just basically saying that us as men have to make it, we have to control ourselves, first of all, because that's another reason why relationships are so difficult, because you show me the cleavage, you show the skin. Now that makes me aroused. I try to skip past the part of actually knowing you, creating a bond with you, and establishing a relationship and a connection with you, and then I try to have sex with you, and then now all I can think about is the sex. Now I have no further interests, because what I was initially was after, I got it now.
Mm-hmm. That's a big point, man. So we're gonna end it off with that. We're going on around 13 minutes, man. BMG Black Movement Group, man. You see it.
Most definitely. Check in with us. Stay tuned.